Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I must confess that it is great to be invited in your country and to have the opportunity to be in front of all of you here today. Thank you that I'm invited here. I owe this to Professor Susan Young. Yes. I owe this to Professor Susan Young Kafatos, and thank her for the invitation to visit your beautiful country and take part at the exhibition. I thank the entire team of the organization CONCA, the president, and especially Ms. Joy Parker, that had the idea and is the heart of the whole project. I'm grateful to all of you that were here, and I express my gratitude and thanks again and again. I have been asked to present to you my artwork. But in order to present my artwork, I have to explain to you my life, because having painting as not my perfection, painting follows the flow of the facts of my life. I'm a civil engineer specialized in transportation. So I have done only 3 exhibitions in my life till now that goes in parallel with the 3 periods of my life as I realize after my studies in philosophy. But let's go briefly a little back. I'm Greek, born in Heraklion of Crete, from parents that came, one from Izmir of small Asia, and the other from the island of Paros in Mediterranean. I consider first of my life period the one from my birth until my first exhibition in my hometown. That's the classic one. The second period begins with my superior studies in civil engineering, during which I also got married, and ends with an exhibition in Athens. That's my blue period. The third one follows my philosophical studies and ends only last year with an exhibition at the Prefecture of Crete, organized to celebrate my life's work. That's the transparent one. At this point, I should like to ask your permission to present to you in 3 sentences the Platonic argument for the construction of the subjunctivity in order to clarify the association of my 3 exhibitions with the 3 periods of my life, comparing it with a scheme that Plato describes. As an engineer, I need to have a shape in which to think. And that is because Plato describes 3 parts for the construction of the soul of the human beings. We come into existence as biological beings with intelligence in our DNA. That means that intelligence and matter coexist in us, but as naturally different between them, intellect acts in a different part that which acts the matter inside us. That is why in our mind coexist 2 hemispheres, parts, and so the one receives information from the nature through our physical senses, particularly from my eyes, for our senses and eyes, and creates science and technology. And the other takes information from the intellect in accordance with our sensitivity and creates art and values. So back another time. I had a chance to attend the best schools of my town and to study painting next to a renowned person at that time throughout my high school studies, studying so the classical painters and painted portraits from live models in an excellent way that came by nature, with the first one in my 17 years old. This encouraged me to go to superior studies to Academy of Beaux-Arts in Paris, but as I was in love with the most clever and handsome this period boy in my class, I find myself accepting the proposal to get married and to study civil engineering with him. As I was good in maths, I said, it's okay. It was in this period that I had the same time to realize my first exhibition in my hometown and to take part in the group exhibition Heraklion 69. In this last, my portrait of a fisherman named Fundukis obtained the first award. The fact that I was both enough excellent in maths and in arts indicates that both part of my brain, art and knowledge, had been cultivated in a harmonic way. So the first part of my life, the one of basic culture and education, have been successfully in both ways, and that means that the superior part of the wings of the butterfly of myself as of everybody are enough and symmetrical created. For the studies of engineering, we chose the University of Pavia in Italy, in which I traveled for first time and lose the mind from the magnificent creation of the Renaissance. Walking around the Italian cities, witnessing the marvels of Renaissance, fulfilled my art education and culture together with the completion of my studies in engineering. Then I go home to my hometown and with a 3 years beautiful daughter. So everything seems different with my perspective after studies and view of life, and so I got divorced for first time. I tried the second time to be with someone, and this time I have been blessed with a wonderful boy. At this point, I finished the second period of my life, which demonstrates that even if I had strong big winds, I flew to wrong pathways and not once. It was missing to me experience. During the period of the aesthetic part of my mind, the aesthetic part helped the logical by putting on canvas expression of the temporal waves of the negative sentimental moments that I was having and I was going through, and the most time was ironic in their opposite, in order to show me that there is beauty and help the logical part to be reasonable and to go on. In this period, I could not use terrestrial colors, beige, brown, black. So the second period, that is my blue period, as I call it, and the exhibition with which it finished has been realized in Athens. In this blue period, one can see the balanced collaboration between the two parts of the mind, the game of freedom in between imagination and reasoning, as philosophers can describe this coaction. A free game because both parts act by themselves in a combination with one another in doing their best by their own in order to help the other, because if one part is destroyed, the other part of the soul can't live. Our inner self, in order to have the possibility to play this game, Both parts must have equivalent possibilities that mean being cultivated profoundly and in time, and that is the second reason that Plato wrote the famous dialogue Republic, named in Greek politia, from the word that is etymology comes from polis, that means city, the possibility to live together in general. At this particular point indicates how to coexist in peace, balance, and harmony between them, the two parts of our mind in ourselves, in order to be able to transform us, our inner self, in a beautiful butterfly that is able not only to survive, but also to create its personal universe in art, science, and technology, in one word, culture. My inner self was obliged to play this game in order to give the possibility to human being, Na슐라, that's my name, by flying away of reality to tolerate the ugliness. So it has been created by experience, a known metaphysic but not transcendental universe, that is the ontological one of my consciousness, the logic aesthetic one, as it must be cultivated, the one of everybody. Up there, by a conversion of the intersubjectivity, the consciousness mirrors itself to an upper plane and becomes auto-consciousness, giving to the mind its auto-knowledge that Aristotle declared. From now and then, the human beings takes in hand the reins of the four horses of Saul, as it is symbolized the charioteer in Delphi. No more prize anymore. That is why the third period of my paintings contain pictures in transparent polycarbonate groups of painting, the same for one theme every year. Theme that symbolize the current situation. That is something I have realized after my last studies, because I must confess, I went back to the University of Crete last time and obtained 3 masters in philosophy, neurophysiology, and bioethics. After my first master of philosophy, the theoretical one, engineer as I am, I needed to study neurophysiology to ground the theory of science and to find the basis of what we accept and make this in order. The third in bioethics came in order to understand the application of my mind construction in his ideas in real time. The third exhibition, as the third part of our life, is rising from the two put together all three periods, and has the name and art and logic, one Aristotelian verse, and it was sponsored from State of Greek last summer. The current period, I paint transparent, exotic, multicolors, beautiful butterflies, and in the meantime, I aim to establish a union between Plato's theoretical model and the modern sciences. So my generation, that we took university studies only by books, without even a telephone, but we finished to can use all the artificial intelligence of now, will be the bridge between wisdom and of ancient people from all the world to the to the children of the new generation, in order that they could use artificial intelligence in the best possible way in each aspect of them, and so be healthy and happy. I want to thank you for your attention. I want to thank you again, everybody that is here, especially Susan Young, the team of CONCA, organization, and the president. Many, many thanks. Thank you for your attention. Be happy and healthy, you too. Thank you.